Hi everyone, I'm DIYte. A bit of a bonkers video today. I've got a few jobs coming up where I'm going to be using my large new folding workbench that I made recently. And so I decided to make it a little bit easier to carry the workbench around from job to job by making myself one of these. So a lot of you will have seen my folding workbench video, and I've got to say, since making that workbench, it has revolutionized what I do, because like most of you, I don't have a dedicated workshop. So when I'm working with Word, sheets of MDF, whatever, it's a mobile process. But the problem is, this workbench I've made is actually pretty heavy, and it's even heavier since I put these protective strips around the edge. And if I'm making, I don't know, wardrobe doors at the weekend, I have to go into my garage here and carry my workbench all the way down there. So that's why I've designed this, and that's why I've gone with these massive wheels, because it's a bit of off-road terrain to get from the garage down to the house. So I had this piece of oak lying around in my garage, and I decided it would make the perfect base for the new wheel. The first job was to trim it down to get it to the right sort of size for the wheel's base plate. To trim it down, I decided just to use my universal Irwin jack saw. And then I just used my electric plane to take off the rough edge from the surface of the oak, just to make it a bit flatter, and also because over the years the piece of timber has warped a little bit. I bought the wheel itself from Castor online. I'll post a link in the description at the end of the video. I've got these chunky 6x40mm multi-purpose screws. Really, these are designed for bolts, but this will be fine for me because I'm also going to use these M5 washers I bought from Screwfix. Give me a lovely strong fixing. And I've got a 3.5mm diameter drill bit. I'm just going to drill pilot holes because this is oak. Right, I'm now going to work out how wide to make my little stays. I've got 60mm outside edge, so I'm going to make it slightly more than that. Andy, Gosforth Handyman, does his on a bit of a splay, but I don't want to do that for this particular one because I've got a bit of a trick up my sleeve to clamp it in place during transit. Just love working with oak, even when you're planing it and circular sawing it. You don't get anything like the debris and the sawdust that you get from working with MDF. Just look at this, it's just beautiful. Sorry, I'll stop waxing lyrically now. Now, this is the tricky bit, my friends, because I've drilled all of that. These are going on top. Oops, there we go. Now I've got to get these screws absolutely spot on. These screws are really a little bit too long, but I'm going overboard. I'm not going to glue it to start with because I don't want to be able to adjust it if I haven't quite got it right. And at least that's going to give it super support all the way down. Right, the first bit moved in spite of my best efforts, so I've decided to take nothing to chance, and I'm going to actually do this one in situ with a little packer piece there. That gives me my tolerance when the whole thing is finished. I'm going to very gently clamp this in place. Very, very, very gently. This job would have been much easier with a drill press, but let's face it, how many of us DIYers have got one of those? Some people often wonder why you use slot-headed, why you use partially threaded screws like this rather than, for example, gold screws that are threaded all the way up. Well, there's a very good reason for that. If you use screws that were threaded all the way up, for a situation like this, we'd have to drill a pass-through hole, which is like a wider pilot hole, so that the screw could pass right the way through this before engaging, because we don't want the thread biting on this part of the bit of wood. But these screws are perfect for this bit of wood because look, there's no thread engaging. So it will screw through, and then when the screw starts tightening, it tightens this bit of wood, pulls it towards the bit of oak that we've got here, but the thread isn't engaging in the bit of oak itself. So it does a really good job of pulling this bit of wood tight to the base. Right, I'm really pleased with this. So that plasters beautifully onto my workbench without too much of a problem because there's plenty of wriggle room in there. But then I can clamp it tight for transit like that. All we need to do now is the fun bit of installing the wheel. So there we have it, our new heavy-duty, all-road, all-terrain wheel for transporting my folding workbench around the garden. Massive thanks, shout out to Andy at Gosforth Handyman for giving me this brilliant idea. Let's see how it works. So, it's on with the wheel. Quite excited about this. And now I'm just going to clamp it in place so it doesn't slide off while we're walking along, using my Axminster clamps. Let's see if it works. And off we go. So much easier. than normal, and no sprained back. So completely bonkers idea. So big shout out to Gosford Handyman for that crazy one. But I'm really glad I've made it because it's going to make my life a lot easier. So that's it, the mobile workshop is all set up for today's video, where I'm going to be constructing a couple of wardrobe doors in an easy way that any DIYer can do. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please click on the like button below. Details of all the tools I've used today, including where to buy one of these, will be in the description at the end of the video. And if you're new to my channel, I always say this, but it'd be lovely if you could click on the subscribe button here. The increase in subscriber count on my channel is just one of those things that makes me really pleased about what I'm doing and makes me think that it's worthwhile continuing, because believe you me, there's a lot of time goes into these videos and I don't get a lot of financial reward back. So please keep clicking on the subscribe button, and do please tell all your friends about the channel. I'd massively appreciate that. See you soon.